Hello and welcome to Little Hive Crafts. Today we are going to see how to make this cute little granny square pouch with only 2 granny squares. Let's begin. I have used 3 colors in my pouch, but you can make it with just 2 or even just a single color. You're going to need a 3.5 mm crochet hook, any DK light worsted or medium worsted weight cotton yarn, a tapestry or yarn needle, and a pair of scissors. Now I'm going to begin by showing you how to make a granny square, but if you already know how to make one, you can skip this part. We're going to start by making a slip knot. There are many ways to do it, and this is how I do it. Insert your hook inside and chain 5. Now let's make a slip stitch into the very first chain. Insert your hook in the first chain, pick up yarn and pull through both loops. This creates a little ring with a hole in the middle. Round 1 of the granny square, you're going to chain 3 and make 2 double crochets into the hole. Yarn over hook once, go into the hole, pick up the yarn and come out. You should have 3 loops on hook. Now we are going to yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops. That is 1 DC or double crochet. We're going to make another one. Yarn over hook, go into the hole, pick up the yarn and come out. You should have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. There you have finished 2 double crochets. So in this round, so far you've made 3 chains and 2 DC all into the hole in the middle. Now we chain 2 and make 3 more double crochets into the hole. 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to give a quick tug at the yarn tail behind just to keep it together and continue. Chain 2, the third set of 3 double crochet into the middle, chain 2 once more, and last set of 3 DC into the middle. Now we're going to chain 2 again and do a slip stitch to the top of 3 chains that we made in the beginning of this round. Count the third chain from the bottom, put your hook inside, grab the yarn and pull through both the loops. You can see that we have made a little square with 4 corner spaces. Leave a bit of yarn tail and cut yarn. Pull out your hook with the loop. Now let's weave in the yarn tail to the back of the square, nicely tucking it in between a few stitches before we can cut the yarn and give our square a neat finish. In round 2, we are going to work into the 4 corner spaces that we made in round 1. Insert your hook into one corner, pick up a new color, pull through and chain 1 to secure it. We need to make 3 chains in total, of which we've already made chain 1. Now to make chain 2, I'm just going to take the hook around the yarn tail like this, grab the working yarn and pull through to make chain 2, and then we chain 3. Now 2 double crochet stitches into the same corner space, 1 and 2. Then we chain 2, 3 more double crochet into the same corner space, 1, 2 and 3. Remember, this will always be the way we will work into the first corner space of any round. Moving to the second corner, we make 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet all in the same corner space. Now we're going to repeat this in the next 2 corner spaces as well. Make 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet all in the same space. Repeat that for the third corner and repeat the same set for the fourth corner. Once you've finished the 4 corners, I'm going to show you how to do an invisible closing or an invisible slip stitch. Leave a bit of yarn tail and cut yarn. Thread your needle and wait for the magic that's about to happen if this is new to you. So normally we would have done a slip stitch to close the round and slip stitched into the top of chain 3 that we made in the beginning. Now we are going to go into the stitch next to it. The double crochet stitch next to the chain 3. Put your needle inside and take your needle back through the double crochet stitch where your thread comes out of. The last DC of this round, you see that the stitch on top has a loop coming out like that. You're going to put the needle in the middle of that loop and pull it out at the back. There you see. Now you cannot even make out that anybody did a slip stitch here. This is called an invisible closing. We weave in the tail end as usual and cut the yarn tails before we finish round 2. Moving on to round 3, insert your hook into any corner and pick up your new color. Chain 1 to secure it and chain 2. I'm once again going to make my second chain around the yarn tail and make the third chain. Now let's do 2 double crochet stitches into the same corner space. Remember, like I told you before, this will be how every first corner space of every new round will be worked. Chain 2, 3 double crochet into the same corner space. Before we go into the next corner, we have a new space in the middle. Into this space, we're going to work 3 double crochet stitches, all in the same space. So we go straight into that space in the center and work 3 double crochet. Now we can go on to the next corner of round 2 and make 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, all in the same corner space. As you might have guessed, this pattern repeats itself. In the next middle space, we do one set of 3 double crochet stitches, and in the corner we do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. In the middle space, 3 double crochet again, and in the corner 3 DC, chain 2, 3 DC, and in the last middle space along the side, only one set of 3 double crochet. Before we close this round, let's do this and get back. Here we are at the end of round 3, and now we are going to do an invisible closing or an invisible slip stitch again. Thread your needle, go into the double crochet that you made in this round, the first double crochet stitch. So you made chain 3 in the beginning and then you made 2 DC, right? So the first DC, the first double crochet stitch, you go into that stitch and come back through the stitch that we made in the last double crochet of this round. Enter that stitch and pull your needle from the back, and now we have our invisible slip stitch. We're going to weave in our yarn tails neatly before we cut the yarn. Now when you have your 2 granny squares, we are ready to stitch them together. If you notice carefully, you will see the loops on top which faces you, and that is the right side. On top of every stitch you have those V-shaped loops, that is the right side. So place the squares in such a way that the wrong sides face inside and the right sides face outside. Now to join the squares, I have chosen pink yarn again. You can choose any color you want. Take your hook and put it through the 2 corners of the 2 squares. Pull through the pink yarn and chain 1 to secure it. This part is easy peasy and is my favorite part. We're going to start by making 2 single crochet stitches into the same corner space. To make a single crochet stitch, enter the corner space, pick up the yarn and come out. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Now you're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. This completes 1 single crochet stitch. We're going to make the second one the same way, because we need to do 2 single crochets in every corner space here. To attach the rest of the stitches, we're going to make a slip stitch into both loops on both squares. Corresponding stitches have to be aligned together so that they are matched up, and now you enter your hook into corresponding stitches on both sides, front and back. Wrap the yarn and come out through the stitches and through the loop on your hook. There we complete 1 slip stitch, and we're going to repeat the same. Enter hook through 4 loops, pick up the yarn and pull it through. This is really easy peasy and is quite a joy to make. It's a lot of fun if you try. There we are coming to the next corner, into which we are going to make 2 single crochet stitches into the same corner space. So enter hook through the space and complete your single crochet. Once more for the second single crochet, and we continue doing our slip stitch all around till we come to the next corner. In the next corner again, we do 2 single crochet stitches into the corner, and we continue with our slip stitches into each corresponding stitch on the front square and the square behind. If you are an absolute beginner, it is possible to confuse between a slip stitch and a single crochet, so I suggest that you watch the video carefully and follow along. In the last corner, we make 2 single crochet stitches once again, and there we have completed attaching our 2 squares. Now we are going to make single crochet stitches along the top border, but we are going to do some extra stitches, so please watch carefully. Single crochet into the first 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3. 1 single in the space in between the set of 3 DCs, single there. Again 1 single on top of the next 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Another single crochet in the space. You have the last set of 3 double crochet stitches there. We're going to make 1 single crochet on top of each of them. You should have 11 single crochet stitches. Now we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the side where you started joining the squares. So the very first single crochet there where we started joining, enter your hook inside and make a slip stitch to close. Turn your work and in the same fashion as before, make a single crochet border along the top of this square as well, and at the end of this row we should again have 11 single crochets. at the end of this row, we're going to slip stitch into the last single crochet of our joining round. So we made 2 single crochets in the last corner of the joining round. Into the second, we're going to put our hook inside, drop a loop and slip stitch to close. Now on the top opening, including the 2 slip stitches that we made, we should have 24 stitches in the end. Remember, we made 11 on each side plus the 2 slip stitches in each corner, so it should total 24 stitches in the end. In our next round, we're simply going to chain 1 and make 1 single crochet into each stitch of the round before, totaling 24 stitches in the end. We're going to slip stitch to the first stitch of this round to close. Now we're going to build some loops on top into which we can weave in our yarn strings. To make the loops, we're going to start by chaining 2, and into the next stitch we're going to make a half double crochet. To do that, you're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop and come out. Now we should have 3 loops on hook, yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops at the same time. Now chain 1, skip the next stitch, and into the next 2 stitches we're going to make 2 half double crochet again. Half double crochet in the next and another half double crochet in the next. Chain 1 again, skip the next stitch and into the next stitch make a half double, and in the next stitch another half double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, half double crochet in the next, and another half double crochet in the next. We're going to continue this pattern all around. So we make chain 1, skip the next stitch and half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, again chain 1, skip the next, half double crochet in the next 2, and so on till we come to the end. Now I've done my last set of 2 half double crochet stitches. I'm going to chain 1, we skip the next stitch and we're going to slip stitch into the top of chain 2 that we made in the beginning. Enter the second chain, grab the yarn and come out through all the loops on your hook. This completes our loop round. Now in the second last round of the drawstring pouch, we are simply going to chain 1 and do 1 single crochet into every stitch. So 1 single crochet into each of the half double crochet stitches and 1 single crochet into our chain 1 as well. So let's do this and get back. Remember, when you come to the chain 1 that you made, we are not going to enter the space, but we are going to enter the chain 1 itself. And we are going to do our single crochets this way till we finish this round. And when we finish, we are going to do a slip stitch as usual, and for the very last round we are going to chain 1 and make 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So this time we are going to have 48 stitches in the end. To make the flower of the drawstring, you're going to chain 5 and slip stitch to the first stitch to make a loop. To make our first petal, we're going to start by chaining 3, 2 double crochet stitches into the center, and a slip stitch into the center of that loop. So to make a slip stitch, enter your hook through the center, like that. Grab the yarn, come out of the center and come out through the loop on your hook. That completes our first petal, and we're going to repeat this 2 more times because I want to have 3 petals in this flower. Keeping the hook on the flower intact, we're going to add a new color by drawing through a loop like that, and we're going to just pull the strings at the back so that the loop is not loose. And now we're going to chain 48. So just chain 48 along the new color of the string. You can of course continue with the same color that you used for your flower. Remember to leave a bit of yarn tail length when you start your string. When you start making your chain 48 with the string color, you should have left a little bit of a tail over there. Now we're going to cut the yarn once we've made 48 chains. Thread into our needle. Now we are simply going to weave in our string in through the loops on top into these big gaps or spaces. We are not going to go in between the 2 half double crochet stitches, but remember, after every 2 half double crochet there was a gap. We're just going to simply weave in and out of that gap all around. To finish this, just take the needle in through the first chain of the string and tie the tail ends together. I have made 4 tight knots, and that's good enough to secure the string. Once we complete one side of the string, we're going to repeat the exact same steps to make a string on the other side. There we have finished our cute little drawstring pouch. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please do leave a thumbs up below, and we would love to hear from you in the comments as well. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you next time.